Hello and welcome to Wrestle Opinionated. This is our weekly podcast all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Bumping Headache Matthew Strange. And this is...
Oh, sorry. Can we start again? I fucked that.
Don't keep it. Just roll.
Muir, I'm that smooth. Muir, carry on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we don't edit.
We're not editing that. Just let it ride.
Let it ride. Come on, let's go on. So what you boys been up to? Apart from fucking this broadcast.
Fucking hell. I've go on, Morg, you first.
No, you want to tell everyone about your plague first?
You got plague?
Yeah, I've the missus had the illness which gave her the bumping headache and fatigue, and I took care of her for 2 days. And you guys came over and we saw you, and she was in the corner, and now I've got it.
Oh, good! I can't wait to have it myself.
So, yeah, news for you, Muir.
You are
Great.
He's normally the one who gets ill first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been total war. Yesterday was just lay on the sofa with my... This won't mean a lot to anybody who doesn't know Warhammer or Total War, but I'm doing Ikit Claw with best friend Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and we're running the world together.
It shouldn't happen. Dwarfs and Skaven don't get on.
Hello, honoured friend. Yes, best friend. It's been great. What about you, boys?
Mostly a bit of BattleTech with the missus, because she really likes giant robots. So that's been the video game, not the board game.
Chad's played the board game from 1983.
Dungeons and Dragons Online. So it's been a week of playing varying games.
Wow. We're so cool.
Yeah. So this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such, you won't know that we have a tier list, which is how we review and give our scores for Dark overall and the individual matches on Dynamite. Now, a very ill Mr. Strange is going to explain our tier list.
We've gone without an exciting theme this week, just due to the fact when I was trying to be creative the last 2 days, my heads were bumping. So it's a common known tier list. It's growing in popularity from Japanese computer games and their school system. It's known through YouTube channels now. And it's a good way to assess things. That's what I use because I'm a fucking weeb. We build up from D. We don't go any lower than D. D is the worst match I expect to see. I'm playing on my phone. The story's not there. The wrestling is bad, and I don't care. And then, why did that rhyme? Then we rock up to a C. C is what I expect an average match to be. It should be good. A C is good. I believe that would be a Meltzer 3 stars. I don't speak actual ratings.
Oh, don't bring Meltzer into this.
Meltzer, me Magoo.
Me Magoo.
Yeah, we've got good wrestling. We've got story there. Everything's there. Maybe the story's a bit weak, but the wrestling's phenomenal. Maybe the story's great and the wrestling's just all right. But I expect to be entertaining and good all the way through. Then we rock up to a B match. A B match is, just good, strong, really strong. You don't look away. Once again, maybe one aspect's exceptional, but the other is still good or great. We're looking at a match which you actually care about, but it hasn't quite blown the level off the episode. Roll into an A match. This is, I suppose, your equivalent of the 5 stars from the meme ratings. A match is just phenomenal. You don't take your eyes off it. Maybe you're surprised by getting such a great match out of nowhere, like Phoenix versus Alan Angels or Trent versus Kenny.
Any Marcus stunt match, according to Meltzer.
Or backhand you into the fucking sun. Yeah, great wrestling, great story. Everything's there, and we've had a great time. We've not looked away from TV. Then we go into the fabled S rank. S rank is obviously the Goku Blue of wrestling. It's those phenomenal moments you get very rarely. Those moments where you sit and just fucking take it all in. You're like, this is beauty. This is art. We've had to give ones from different promotions. And this one, obviously, we've got the Bucks Kenny Omega tag. That was fucking phenomenal. We went on about that for ages. In Dubs E, I mean, I gave it to the Boneyard match and stuff like that. I imagine people who actually know Dubs E could pick a serious match for that. And Lucha Underground, it's obviously Pentagon versus the Black Lotus Triad, which I talk about all the time. So that's our scale. D shit, C solid, B good, A great, S amazing. Boom. I've still got enthusiasm. I just can't think.
WWE
My normal state of mind.
The WWES match, I think, has got to be Taker Michaels WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. That's the end of the big story one. Yeah, cool. Good
that's-
work, Dubsy, man.
Yeah. Don't call me that.
It's what you are here.
You are our Dubsy sage.
Yeah. So, onto that. News. Do we have any news this week?
Austin Gunn is healthy again.
Hooray!
Apparently, he was taken out with a torn PCL in January, and he will be back to wrestling soon enough, which is great.
There is no crowd. There is only Austin Gunn.
There is no crowd. There is only Austin Gunn. Otherwise, we found out a bunch of people who won't be going to AEW.
Sadly for some of them.
Yeah, Slammiversary last night. They had a bunch of secret wrestlers. They showed up. Eric Young, Gallows and Anderson, who I really thought were going to Japan.
They are going to Japan. They've got an open contract where they can go to both, mate.
Delicious. And EC3.
Yeah,
so,
that's the bomber there for me, but, you know.
Yeah, no, but we'll come more into that shortly. Yeah. Anybody else got anything of note? That's pretty much all I found out.
That's all I could say. The 90-day clause stuff was the most interesting.
I mean, there is the other option is now the 90-day clause is up. There are other people that may service in AEW. I think the one
Zack Ryder.
We're most expecting is Zack Ryder. I can't remember what because obviously he won't be Zack Ryder. He'll be his real name. But off the top of my head, I cannot remember it.
No, I can't either. But
did you all see the interview? The comment that apparently was said to, I can't remember if it was Gallows or Anderson from Trips about going to AEW before the Rona.
No.
Trips apparently was like, now I know you're thinking about AEW, but you've got a family, and just remember the WWE will always be here.
What? Kick them out?
Yes, mate.
I know Trips wants to do his best. You know, I kind of feel sorry for Trips because I feel like he's in a position where he wants to be not the shittest asshole ever. He's a bit of an asshole, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't want to be this S-tier shit that Vince is. So, you know, he's trying his best, but he can't do it, you know?
Apparently AJ's had a rant about it, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see AJ leave at some point. He's been everywhere else.
Like, he's kind of started on his flat earth. Can he make it back to Japan on that?
Japan exists on the flat earth.
Okay.
Look, he's a great wrestler. Look, he might be a flat earther, but he's a great wrestler, and he basically founded the Bullet Club.
Yes,
so,
he did.
You know.
No Dimes Steven. No Dimes Devin didn't find it, did he?
No. Devin's great, but he ain't AJ, is he?
No, he ain't.
So I think is that all of our news?
I think that is. So we move on to... was that something else, or was that you just having a heart attack?
No, I was just going to go, I'll roll into social media then, because all my planned social media was based around EC3. So I've tacked a little thing onto the end. I'm still going to go through EC3. Hi there.
Yeah.
You're listening to this podcast, do you like wrestling? You should go to Ethan Carter III /EC3/Essential Character III's Twitter page. He did a promo for every single indie promotion. There was one for Impact, one for Ring of Honor, one for AEW. Not that AEW really counts as indie, but you know what I mean, non-Dubsy. Then he did like this fucking cool Undisputed movies.
Little trailer
of him going to like a little underground wrestling thing. It was fucking baller. So I'm hoping he's got an open clause and we'll see him in Dark or challenging Cody or something. Yeah, it's really good. This promo game is phenomenal. He looks immense. He looks like Yuri Boyka.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does look like Yuri Boyka.
He does. Just Google him, kids. It's a terrible with surprisingly good for film Russian prison fighting movie. Undisputed. It's awesome. So yeah, hopefully we'll go watch his promos. They're phenomenal. And then like me, you can sit here going, maybe he's got the open clause and could show up anywhere. And that's why he did the promo to each company, which would be very clever on his behalf. Other than EC3, I'm going to shout out Ricky Starks because he responded to my missus on Twitter after she said he'd stole my heart, and he was like, possession is 9/10 of the law. So apparently I belong to Ricky Starks now. He's really interactive with his fans as well. He shares things about old wrestlers, new wrestlers. He shit talks people in that arrogant way. I think he's great. So yeah, EC3 for the promo work and praying, Ricky Starks for the joy we've got to come, with hopefully Ultimate Team Taz.
I also love how the EC3 thing was so beautifully shot. As a bit of a cinema snob, it's just fucking phenomenal what you can do.
As wanky film man, Nick Muir approves of these programs.
It's just beautiful seeing these guys doing like segments and stuff that look like they come from a proper film, and they've got probably like a GoPro and an iPhone, and it's just amazing what you can do these days. Basically, it just makes me happy.
Social media is the promo platform of the time.
Oh, I think that's get yourself over.
It's how we got AEWs.
Yeah.
Basically, for being the elite sections.
Yeah, you got Zack Ryder, and then they got being the elite, and then you got AEW.
Yeah, don't forget though, don't get yourself over if you're in WWE.
God no! Why would you do that?
Because then your girlfriend gets stolen. No, then your girlfriend kicks you in the nuts, and then Kane chucks you down a ramp in a wheelchair.
That makes sense. Why not? Oh God.
So, moving on, it is review time. And as always, we start off the week with BTE being the elite. What did you guys think of being the elite this week?
Oof, it was long.
That start contract thing, I probably would have found more amusing if it didn't last for like 20 minutes of the 30-minute episode. I know it wasn't
to say about it, though. I loved Kenny's line of "We don't even like wrestling." That made me fucking pissed. The thing is, the low-key acting of Hangman is fucking amazing. Like, Kenny's fantastic for your panto over-the-top acting, but Hangman is an actual actor. I'm going to say this. He's real good.
Artsy film wanker Nick Muir here, too. No, he is. He's got constant body language stuff going on. He actually... He's probably the best actor out of the elite.
I would say so, yeah. I think he's got chops there. He's got real good acting chops. I think you could, like... more low-key, subtle acting. It's like he's an actual actor instead of this panto wrestling acting sort of thing.
Welcome to Nick's acting
I also love the bit with going on about the drugs when Kenny's pushing the fucking powder on. That was beautiful. This is stuff all the boys in New Japan are on. It ain't, mate. We all know what the boys in New Japan are on.
There's some buff boys.
They're very buff boys there.
I only noted on a few things. I'd forgotten that bit until you.
How about Statlander and John Silver?
I want a bootleg Chuck Taylor action figure. As soon as that joke came up, I think that wasn't the best of the Dark Order skits we've seen. It was still pretty funny, and it was nice to see Chris could have been tighter, but the Chuck Taylor action figure brought me joy.
It's been lonely through lockdown.
I wasn't with Spanglish this time until the scene cutting and the just ridiculousness of the scene cutting and then the flying shoe shitness made me laugh. It's not the best Spanglish, but I enjoyed the ludicrousness of it. Just because I think Santana and Ortiz are just cheeky, happy dad types, and they don't get to show that on the actual show at all.
They're heel, don't they?
Whereas they're like slightly cheeky, nice guys in BTE. And we all know what... Go on.
Who was Colt with at this time? Because I've got a note about it, but I don't remember who said it. Who was Colt with? I've got a bit of a brain fart.
I think it was Hangman.
Oh, it was with Hangman. And it was just the comment of, you think you hit harder than Ishii? That made me piss.
No one hits harder than Ishii, except for Ibushi on next.
Yeah. I think Ishii is Morg's anti-wrestler. I think if Morg watched a match of Ishii, just melt like he opened the Ark of the Covenant.
Mate, it's everything you disliked about the last Lance Archer match taken to a point where I hate it.
Yes. And then we get to the best scene of it,
we all know what we all know that was fucking immense. The Dark Order have shot up in BTE sections. They are the best thing in it. Brody Lee not breaking his character, but still doing the ludicrousness makes it. The fact he's the only one who knew who Griff Garrison was. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? It was
some paper.
But for all of the mediocrity and things I didn't quite get in it that would keep it's like a medium C, that section at the end was an S-rank section of comedy for me. I knew the joke when they went in.
We knew it was going to be a Griff Garrison joke, but it still hit.
pissed my pants.
Hmm.
Like proper lol.
I think you could watch the last 5 minutes and not miss much from this BTE and still have a great time.
Yeah. Which I assume your bit's the same as ours, Morg. Surely you feel the Dark
yes.
Order. Yes.
Yeah, good.
It's I mean, we said it before. I think, how do AEW keep it? We've got to stop saying now that we don't like people when they arrive in AEW. We've got to
But we've
just
got to-
keep
we
our
don't
mouths
know.
shut.
We've got to have
because
our opinions, because then we can show that we change our opinions when someone does something right, or
This
we
is-
change our opinions to lower if they've annoyed us. It's
this is fair, but if we listed off the people that when they first started AEW, we're like, no, I don't like them.
and that shows that we can grow as people, though, Morg, instead of going,
Or,
oh no, I don't like that guy because he wrestled a 9-year-old kid 20 years ago. So
I'm just going to say more on this later.
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yes.
More on that later.
So moving on to Dark. So what did you guys think of Dark? What was your overall score for Dark? We don't bother giving scores for the individual matches.
Go on.
I do have a comment I want to make at the end, which I must remember.
Oh,
Ooh.
all right, okay.
Uh,
I'm going to do a quick spin through,
let's
like I normally do.
yeah. Nightmare
Women's tag.
Nightmare Sisters versus.
Still hate Resh.
Yeah.
I loathe her with a passion. I'm sorry.
You just hate her gimmick. Let's be fair here. You don't think her wrestling's bad. You're Roppongi 3K'ing this. You hate the gimmick so much you don't like the wrestler.
Yeah. Okay. My first comment is that I do hope that Blade, Ali's husband, made that picture of QT. That would bring me great joy because I could see him sat at home making it with glue, laughing to himself.
Yeah, I forgot how ludicrous it is.
Ali needs a bit of work. That Dustin uppercut is great. I love the fact she's doing it, but it needs to be a bit smoother. And she had the slowest crawl to tag in the world.
Yeah.
God. Diamante seems all right, which is good because we're going to get more of her.
It just didn't pop though, did it? It's just like carrying on of this story. It's treading water. They're working a bit better together. Just waiting for the inevitable betrayal.
I'd say that Brandy was better than Ali in that match, and
that's a rare one. Yeah.
My final comment on the match is I hate Ricochet again. So it was meh. Morg, you're our women's expert. You watch NXT and the other things.
It was all right.
Moving
Do
on.
you hate Ricochet? Moving on.
I'm not. I don't like the way she moves around the ring. I appreciate she's playing her gimmick the entire time.
Yeah,
it makes her look stunted.
It's a bit too indeed.
Like Diamante, she has led to my pop of the week, but I'm sure we'll cover that later.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
They've done a picture of them without masks on them. They look like different people. So
Do
that's
they?
a good move. Yes.
But Diamante, or as I refer to her, the cut price budget Evilise.
It's just when you're playing that fighting game and both of you want to play the same character. She's the alternate skin. It's fine.
It's like in Mortal Kombat, it's Sub-Zero Scorpion.
It's the last level in the original Mortal Kombat. Before you fight Shang Tsung. Before you fight Goro, you had to have the mirror match.
And then you had Shang Tsung who turned it to you anyway, because why weren't you playing Scorpion or Sub-Zero? Right, Starks and Anthony. I am in love with Ricky Starks. His music is baller. He's a douchey tweener. Wasn't the smoothest of matches. Was solid. Starks is always in character, and the Romero special into a slam was fucking awesome. His finisher was great. I love him. The match wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong.
Great, but
But I'm seeing all the makings of a character I'm gonna love, and I think he's got star potential.
I think he's got it. I think he'll be Dimes in the future if we're going to bring that in.
I'll bring in Dimes in. I love that too.
Robert Anthony, though, I just don't like his face, and this is a horrible thing to say, but I just don't like his face.
He's an Action Man's friend alone.
He is. He's like a budget Action Man, and it really puts
You've got
me
your
off.
Action Man toy. You've got your Action Man Jeep, and you're like, who's going to fire the machine gun in the back? So you buy the £8 Action Man's friend, and that's what he is. He's good. He's just
Oh no, it's nothing against him. He's a solid wrestler, but it's just how
like Ricochet.
Yeah.
I hope you two are on board with Starks as I am, because
Yeah.
this-
I think that he's going to be really good. I think he's definitely got it. Like, his match with Cody was fantastic. That was a bit more subdued, but you know, he wasn't fighting for a contract then, so you know.
so
I thought it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. It was the thing I wanted to comment on. I was saying I'm going to comment on at the end, but I'll comment on it now. Is there were a couple of matches in this where, and we've stated with the problem with Dark at the minute is we've known who's going to win when they come out, but there was at least 2 matches where I wasn't sure who was going to win during the
ambiguity.
match.
Yeah, I thought
that helped a lot.
That helped, and this was one of them.
Who they're going to push? The rising sort of more known indie guy or this homegrown giant dude?
So and it wasn't even that. It was just the matches were the match was in the case was quite solid. There was a lot of give and take, and so you felt like the guy you thought, oh well, he's not winning.
Yep.
Completely.
Oh, well, this feels like it was easy to get drawn into the match, and I believe if you carry on, there's another match that was very similar.
Okay. Yeah, we've had a few different decent ones in this. Well, not necessarily the best matches, but you know,
it's a bit more interesting. But yeah,
Spears promo was all right. It did cut off early.
Oh, he's so evil. Oh, look at him go.
Look, we'll get Goofy Spears back, and I can be in love with him again. But at the moment, Spears has had to be put on the shelf because he's not.
I did like how they were actually explaining the different ages of the glove, of like who's worn it. That should have been before the reveal of the glove, or the
but you know where it's
literally just after.
Yes.
Oh, on Dynamite.
On Dynamite, so people know what's going on. Yeah. But it was
AEW is largely marketing to the younger, not more progressive, cruiserweighty indie fan people. We're not marketing. We're probably on the age limit of people who are watching this show as an active thing. If I don't know about Glove from 1973 Southern Territories, just explain it, but put it on the fucking television show. Not everybody watches Dark. I mean, we do. We love wrestling. We like AEW, and we do a fucking podcast.
Yeah, but not everybody's in this situation. Yeah,
it's kind of not our job, but it's our weekly hobby.
Yeah. You can't expect every person who's watching wrestling to do that. Like, if I was an NXT boy as well, and I was watching NXT and AEW, I don't know if I'd fit Dark into my week.
No, it would be the thing you dropped, wouldn't it?
So well, I'm going to say should have been on Dynamite, and I'm going to roll into the next one because this is. Get more evidence. We need a trios league, and my new sponsor, my new champion to be in the future, my new big guy. My Wardlow is in this match.
Oh,
so Jobbers versus the Dark Order, and then fucking Will Hobbs, the Slab, came out again. Fucking Dirk Man-Meat with his chest made of cement. Right. And I was like, this is a man I can get behind. And then they explained his tragic comic book backstory. And I was like, holy fuck, this is a man I can get behind. He threw people so
Would you like to explain his comic book backstory, or should I? Because people need to know this.
So Will Hobbs, when he was a child, was accidentally in or around a shooting, if I recall.
That's correct.
His brother leapt in the way of a bullet to save him and died saving him. And because of that, he's dedicated his life to being like a wrestler sports person in honor. And he's so hench. And
he's got great power moves. Let's be honest here. He's got some solid power there.
Overall, as opposed to just gushing over Hobbs, I'm going to get into the match.
3, 4, and 5 were fantastic together, but
great trios team. Yeah. Great trios team.
This was the other match that I
could have gone either way.
Didn't know who was going to win. Was these two?
Yeah, no, completely. I know the Captain Dean has put up the potential suggestion of him and Hobbs as a tag team, and I would watch the fuck out of that. Also, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a solid, good match, not the best. Beaver Boy's finish is a bit weird. Moves were solid. Didn't know who was going to win. Hobbs looked like a fucking beast with his speedy power slams and
This was
shit.
my favourite match of the night, to be fair, on Dark. It was real.
It was good and strong. I'd recommend people watch this just to see what some of these wrestlers we've seen squashed can do and see some of the new talent that's coming up. I am here for a fucking
Hobbs and Shaw
team. I am fucking on board for that. And I think Alan Angels goes really well with the Beaver Boys. Yeah, solid, brilliant match. Well, not brilliant, good, but lots of potential in this match. Nakazawa versus Stunt, wasn't feeling it. I don't like powerful Marco.
I hate powerful Marco. I really do.
Michael Nakazawa needs a bit more variety in how he does his comedy, like how Yano mixes it up a bit more and there's crazy sequences where other people get
involved. He's just Yano you've got at home, mate. He's just not as good, unfortunately. As much as I like Nakazawa.
Didn't feel this match. I wasn't.
Me neither.
I wasn't with it. Morg, are you positive about the Nakazawa Stunt match?
I'm getting a bit bored of him smothering his pants on people's faces, to be honest.
It's just the same stuff.
Like
3 jokes.
We talk about Yano.
I prefer the oil because there's more you can do with the oil thing.
We talk about Yano a lot, who's a wrestler in NJPW that's a comedy wrestler, but he has different skits. Like, he's always trying to sell his DVD to you. He'll always attack you with the rim rope instantly if he can.
He's got a million props in his pants.
Yeah. He'll tie you up outside the ring. Like, there's literally 20 different things that could happen.
Versus Yano. Watch Moxley versus Yano. It's fabulous.
It's a great
Yano
match.
Is the comedy wrestler who has a 50% chance of beating anyone. If he was in the fucking Dub Z back in the day, you could put him against John Cena, this little chubby man with a fucking pants full of just various tools, and he would have a 50% chance of winning. But you could also put him against, I don't know, you could put him against Scotty Too Hotty, and he would only have a 50% chance of winning. You'd never know. Then we had Pearson Pete versus Luther and Serpentico.
Yep.
I've been sort of defending Luther from his first couple of matches where he was all right and how much it makes me laugh.
It makes you laugh, yeah.
And it's kind of it's wearing off now.
Yes, it is.
Luther is proficient in Serpentico though, which was interesting, but I don't know. Pierce will get a push in the future. He's a great looking guy. He's got proper wrestler.
He's got the wrestler look, ain't he?
Big, handsome, bearded man who's like 6'6".
Yes,
yeah.
Mate.
That's literally all I took away from that match. I don't even know who won. I assume it was Luther and Serpentico.
It was.
Serpentico is improved. Now he's stopped using coloured streamers in the beginning bit and using the white streamers was so much better.
How do you mean? Do you think his strings apply to his power level?
Less clown coloured, more.
Yeah.
It just looked better and suited the characters.
I get you. I was just Bravalon versus Jurassic Express.
Oh no, I make a note in this as well. I noted this is solid and actually a good match. I had a good time in this one.
It was a solid match.
These guys have got chemistry.
I'm going to read out this note because Luchasaurus, and I wrote this on the day the episode came out, Luchasaurus always does that duck under a tag team move, roundhouse kick, one of the other tag team duck, he hits the one in the other head, then he kicks the other one and choke slams him, and Jungle Boy always does the double tope, and I noted this after watching Dark at the start of the week. Otherwise, it was solid, a little bit clumsy at the end. I enjoyed it, actually, quite good. I love Bravalon, and I think they're great. And at this point, I had no anger with Jurassic Express. Other than that was a little twitch, shall we say.
Yeah. The cracks had formed at this point, I think you would say.
So do you think, originally I thought that the Bravalon future storyline was obviously going to be them against each other to see which to get the one of them who is the worst, the one who loses that match. Do you now think, and I think this, if there was a crowd, this would certainly be the way it would be going. Do you think it's now heading towards them getting their first win together as a tag team?
first win versus the Young
Yes.
Bucks.
And I think that's a better evolution of the story than keeping them hate it. Because obviously that got dragged on and became a thing, and then Corona held on. They could either drag on them trying to beat each other for another couple of months and we'd get sick of it, but by evolving it into them being this sort of
Tag team
awkward
that can work
friends
together.
tag team,
Yeah.
I think that's a better arc, if I'm honest.
I think it'll go down the way of the Young Bucks trying to help them because they're helping them this time, training them, and then the Young Bucks will get arrogant and fight them, and they'll beat the Young Bucks.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that would be good. So yeah, I'm very invested in the Bravalon story.
I am very invested in that. That's one of the stories that I find the most interesting on Dark. Like, I feel like they could bring a few more stories in like that into Dark, make it a bit more interesting, but it's on the up. I'm going to say it's on the up, and it's been a lot better the last few weeks from just the jobbing. The fucking squashing that we had for like 3 weeks that was just ludicrous. But no.
We've still got a comment on the finale, Cage versus Pillman. I'm just going to read my comments out to you boys and see what you think. My first comment was at least he's putting the FTW on the line. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they'll sign Pillman when he gets free. He's a good next-gen old dude. My third comment is, oh, God, I want 2 belts, Brian. He just lifts people real easy.
He does.
If his lats get any bigger, he's going to be able to sail like a sugar glider.
Sorry.
In Manta Ray Bryan. And my final comment is, oh boy, I can't wait for Mox to have 2 titles. So I was wrong in several occasions. Otherwise, the match was all right. It was a mid-tier squash, Pillman versus Cage. They fought each other a bunch. It was all right.
It was solid. It was very solid. But
Dark was all right with some cool things if you like wrestling. Like, if you're actually interested and want to see where teams are going and some of the stuff, it was better.
It was a little bit about interconnective tissue this time. But
so are we saying a C?
I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a C. It's got a few lows, but a few highs and a lot of intrigue that actually caught my eye. So I think it's a C. I think it's worth a watch, but don't be worried if you play on your phone a bit.
Yeah. Don't feel guilty if it's on in the back.
So we move on now to Dynamite, and this week it was Fight for the Fallen. We had Taz, JR, and Excalibur on commentary to start off with. We opened up with Cody with Arn versus Sonny Kiss for the TNT Championship match. Cody wins with the Crossroads. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
I've just got to say, Sonny didn't miss a beat with her cheerleading. He used to be a cheerleader, and he was fantastic with the girls at the start.
Yeah, mate. This was solid, and I've got a couple of criticisms. I know Nick's probably more critical than me.
No, this was one of the matches I thought was on the better.
It didn't start well, the fact that something went wrong with that first slingshot off the ropes move, where Sonny just sort of crumpled. That was our opening, but it was solid otherwise. I quite good.
I really liked that it was the more serious Sonny. I think they played it really well. There weren't any ass moves or anything like that. I thought it was really good for a main stage. Like
more heel Cody because he lost his temper because he underestimated Sonny.
Exactly, yeah. Like they pushed themselves to their limit to really give Cody a push, and I thought that was really good storytelling. I really liked that bit. They have a lovely 450 splash.
I did criticize the not counting the pin because Cody was half under the ropes. I mean, I wasn't even sure that was a rule. This is AEW, and if it was intentional,
that is a standard wrestling rule.
It is, but AEW doesn't have rules, Morg. Let's be honest here.
No wrestling company has rules unless they are required at that moment.
100%, mate. 100%.
That is
I just don't know if that was planned.
Wrestling rule.
Yeah. I didn't like the indie hug at the end of it. I know it. I would have preferred. I'd have preferred Cody to be a bit more aggressive at the end. A bit more stomping off to show that he's. He was pushed a bit to his limit and he got a bit angry with himself. But that may be just.
I think because I watched Cody wrestle into speaking into Sonny's ear afterwards, because there was a couple of weak moments. There was the missed slingshot. There was a really weak turnbuckle toss. I get the feeling because you're going to be if that's your first big main stage.
You think he was just trying to go, yeah, mate, you did fine. You
Yeah,
know,
you did right. Don't worry. Things fuck up. Like I
Yeah.
said, there were fuck ups. I gave the match a B. It was good. I had a good time. I got to see a bunch of different things. Could have done with a bit more story building up to it, but obviously it's an open challenge, so you can't have too much story building up to it. And there were just a couple of noticeable weak spots and things I found that took it down from being like top tier. You know what I mean?
I also thought it was a B myself. What did you think, Morg?
B.
Oh.
It's the B ring
The
general.
criticisms you on board with us? Yeah, it is. He is our B master.
He is the B ring general. You don't get below a B with a Cody match so
No.
far. I didn't mind the hug at the end. I thought it was. Now you've said that it could have been more the don't worry about the mistakes or the are you all right from whatever.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% all right with it.
The other side though, so me and the Raptor both, that we really liked it because we liked the idea of Cody when he's in the ring is dead serious and almost wrestles heel, but he's still actually that nice Cody baby face. So when he's doing his great Cody promos when he goes in and he gets his cheer, but in the ring he is, that championship means so much to him that he will wrestle much more aggressively. So I saw it slightly differently, and I actually really liked that.
No, that's completely fair.
I like the hug, but I'm going to go the other way. Heel ring Cody is the real Cody, and face hugging, walking down to the ring Cody is the fake one.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Did he hold up 4 fingers?
4.
He probably robbed himself at some point with it. I didn't see it, but he probably did.
So following on from that, we had the Lucha Brothers versus FTR. FTR win by roll-up after pulling Fenix's mask off. Before we get into the bit that comes afterwards, what did you think of the match and what score did you give the match?
I obviously went in with super high hopes for this. I'm being won over by FTR, and we all know how much I love the Lucha Brothers. I like the fact that in their arrival, the Lucha Brother, Penta, and they did the same fist bump to high five fuck up they did last week. So I think they must have seen it and intentionally done it.
Again. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Lucha Brothers did. Go on.
I want to play the Butcher and Blade in some sort of video game. I don't care what it is, preferably like some sort of Street Fighter sort of side-scrolling fighting game. But I think they would be perfect characters.
It'll be in the 16-bit AEW game that is invariably going to happen.
That would be amazing.
I think Lucha Brothers did seem a bit rusty at the start for me, and there are a couple of weird slips. It did also look a little bit like the Lucha Brothers started a bit rough on FTR.
They were potatoing a bit, it felt, didn't it?
It did feel like that, but I know FTR have actually done some shoot interviews where they've sort of shit talked people who don't follow Lucha follow the rules, and they're Cornetti bros, and I would agree with that if Luchador Tag Team Wrestling wasn't older than American Tag Team Wrestling. I mean, you can shit on their traditional rules all you want, but they did have it first.
Yeah, they did invent this stuff, guys.
No hair FTR is the better wrestler, but hair FTR has the better high spots.
Don't you have your notes? Dax bald.
Dax hair. Bald. Dax better wrestler. Cash better high spots. Cash strong. Knees up jump sequence was fucking baller. And the demasking I thought was really clever, and I quite liked it because it showed that they were going to go more healing, and then obviously that got played after. I gave it a B. It didn't quite cross into A territory for me, and that's what I was expecting.
I was disappointed with this match, but I still gave it a B because they're fantastic and they were good. But I felt like more should have been done here.
I wrote B/A, crossed it out, and put B.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. To do with the demasking, I think it was really smooth, fantastic
it flew off.
Yeah,
I don't know how he managed to do that. That was fucking great. But on the other side, you're taking this to 11, boys. Where do you go from here? You've already demasked a luchador.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, to be fair, they've both had their masks pulled off by varying people at varying times to win matches.
Oh yes,
we've seen it in.
We've seen it in Lucha Underground, but it's still, it's a high.
You then get a stomping. It is the greatest, dishonor.
It also means that FTR can be kept with Lucha Brothers for a short while on the side, not because as I said it before. I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast. FTR Young Bucks has to have a crowd. You cannot have that match
Yeah.
until you can have a crowd.
But
And you have got to pad this as much as you can.
and then you don't pad it by moving it on to the ending where they lose the truck instantly.
Well, FTR can get their feud with the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers after they've had their single title match, been defeated, and gone back down into a different ranking.
But
Sorry, more on that later. More on that later.
So yeah, the other thing is, I was going to say, I think one of the reasons why we said that we were disappointed with this match and then gave it a B is because I remember joking to the Raptor beforehand as I was writing my notes, going, "Shall I just write the A now?"
Yeah, that's what
And
we
that
were
was
all
the thing.
expecting.
Yeah. So then Young Bucks come down, super kick Butcher and Blade, get the truck back. Kenny comes out with beers and FTR pour beers over Kenny's head, thus setting up.
And then they did fours.
They did do the fours again.
And then they did fours.
I quite like this because this is literally what I said when I was like, Kenny was just being a knob. He could have just said no beers. Yeah. And then he brought them down. And I was like, oh, good, Kenny. Well done.
And they're like, no, we
shouldn't have given.
It was a clever way of making sure that Straight Edge Kenny didn't have to drink a beer, I will say.
Yeah. You can just fill a bottle with fucking
it could be filled with anything.
But I think they gave the car back too early. I think Butcher and the Blade in that car showing up with the Lucha Brothers was fabulous.
It was the best entrance apart from the best friends, obviously.
Yeah. I quite like this. Ruth didn't get it, so it's not all me. But I was like, look, they have shown completely their heels in this one. Now they did the four. Tully was in the four. Tully in the crowd. Yeah, no, it was solid. It's just all a bit blatant.
They could have like 5 minutes of live TV without somebody flashing the fours, or do you think the TV channel would just break?
Four. They've got 5 possible horsemen.
Yeah,
someone's got to go down. Yeah, no, I was down with that section.
Yeah, I think you could have booked this a bit longer. I feel like you've jumped the gun a bit, but
I don't know. I think that having the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Bros with the truck, I think is it. If they still got it in a couple of episodes' time, would we be turning around and going, "Yeah, it's time they stop doing that now"? It makes no sense that they haven't got the truck back.
I don't know.
Every time I see Dr. fucking Robotnik, the Butcher, sat in the front of that car that he properly... any of the other smaller people could be driving that truck, but he's properly hunched over with Pentagon and Blade on the back going, woo! I love it. Fucking, I could watch that.
Yeah.
They best buy their own car.
Yeah. They need their own wacky...
They need a fucking
there you go.
Mexican
lowrider.
People who listen, we need a GIF for Matt of the Butcher driving the truck into the arena on repeat for Matt to just sit and watch.
I mean, it's better than some shows out there, let's be honest here, boys.
So we then have a Jericho in-ring promo. He tells us there will be no rematch between him and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy comes out, puts the thumbs down, dumps orange juice all over the inner circle. What did you think of the segment, and did you give it a score?
Who's going first?
You go first, mate.
Okay, I think I'm probably the most middle line person on this. I don't care about the ratings war and demo. God, I felt cringy and cheap as fuck.
Yeah,
it wasn't the best Jericho. The orange juice from the sky gave me what I would kind of describe as the sensible chuckle. I kind of giggled to myself.
It's so sports entertainment. It hurts.
When the towel got handed over,
the towel was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The stinger of the towel made it.
That was the perfect punchline. I just think this joke could have been condensed down to about half the time it was on. It just went on.
Then you could see Tony Marco and God knows what else. It was just like,
so we can we'll do that bit next. That's okay. We'll go back. We'll go to we've written somebody laughing at our own joke afterwards. I'm down with the joke. Should have just been more concise and closed down. It was all right. Nick,
I don't like that Orange Cassidy has his own theme music. I know it's such a minor thing, and I may sound like a nitpicker, but he's meant to be this lazy sloth that does fucking nothing. So why does he have his own theme music? He should go back to just having the best friends with his name badly written on it.
You know when we had cheap keyboards in high school and you'd press the demo button and it would go... That should be his entrance music.
Yeah. No, something like that. I loved Ortiz's selling of the orange attack because he can't swim.
Can't
So he
swim.
was fucking terrified in the orange liquid. That was beautiful. Jericho selling it all night was funny, but
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know. It just didn't land for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old fogey that's going,
It was
on a
very
bit much.
WWE.
Yeah.
It was very type of thing that would make Vince McMahon
Laugh. Yes, exactly. And
the
we don't need
Jericho-
Bruce Pritchard looking.
Yeah, the demo god bit was a bit.
I hated that bit. Like the
Um,
rest of it, I would have been fine with, but we got to mention the ratings. Fuck off.
Yeah, which was clever because it had its moment. The problem was they wanted to do the reason why we want to do a rematch when we haven't got a crowd in here to cheer.
Yeah.
That was, and they were trying to get there, and it was so. And it's Jericho's just trying a new catchphrase, the demo god. It's a new thing. The orange juice landing was like, oh, but Jericho sold it like a champ. Is it Ortiz? I can never remember which.
Yeah, Ortiz.
Yeah, Ortiz was hilarious. And the orange juice, to me, was unimportant because it was the setup for the towel.
The towel
The
stinger,
towel-
like I said, was
Yeah.
fantastic. It was beautiful.
They needed a way for Jericho to be
To need
handed
the
a towel.
Yeah. No, I get you. I just feel like it's just a bit, remember, I don't care. I don't care if you want to go completely ludicrous with AEW or you want this sports feel, but they were commenting that it was going to be this sports feeling wrestling company. Now they're having orange juice dropped on people.
Mate, sports feeling went out the window when Taz described how Cage's neck is too big
It's
to
too
take a
big!
paradigm shift.
The other thing is, as I've always said, wrestling is a three-ring circus. And any
Oh, yeah,
wrestling
yeah.
show, even if you're trying to be wins and losses matter.
Yeah, you still got to have the clowns, and I
Yeah.
love the clowns. So,
Yeah. So after that, we had a very quick Jurassic Express promo. Do you want to just run it down quickly?
Marco laughed at the joke they said before and looked really high.
Yeah.
I think something else was said afterwards, but I was so angry at Marco's stunt that I missed what Luchasaurus said.
Yeah, I really wasn't paying attention to this because Marco Stunt's becoming this annoying little goblin that's got go-away heat for me now. So,
X-Pac heat.
Yeah. What do you think, Morg?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a very.
exactly.
I've just got written short.
Well, Luchasaurus.
Do you know what was better?
What?
Was better than that section was when, literally straight after, Jericho trying not to corpse made it to the desk, and Excalibur was like, "That must have been super embarrassing. I bet a replay would be really upsetting right about now."
Brilliant. Excalibur and Jericho were on form.
Yeah,
Like the 18 to 49 demographic loves replays, though.
that as well.
I love the bit where Jericho slipped, and
Yep.
I think the second time they did it, and then Jericho slipped and nearly went no. Yes, realizing, of course, that he has to play into getting the.
Yeah.
So good.
So Jericho joins the commentary team, and then we have Jurassic Express versus the Elite. The Elite win after Kenny hits the One-Winged Angel on Marco. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it?
I forgot to rank this. Oh no, I've got 2 pages of comments.
Ooh.
Once again, it starts with, "Is Marco high?"
Yes.
He
He's
looked
high on his own hype, at least, mate.
No, mate, I have had experiences with people on drugs, and there was just a certain fucking manicness to him. The Jungle Boy rope flip spin land thing he fucking opened with against Nick was wicked. Nick and Jungle Boy are great together. And I know it was meant to be Kenny is winning his shirt and was underestimating Marco. But when we first started watching Marco, I commented that I liked the fact that all of his moves involved him getting like a lot of speed and using momentum, whereas he's just pulling off moves, just
Just beating up the best bout machine, just kicking his ass. It was just like, what?
Then I feel a little bit like Jungle Boy is outgrowing Jurassic Express. I'm sorry to say.
I think he
do you know what Luchasaurus did?
He did his move, didn't he?
He ducked under a double super kick, flipped on his hands, spun his foot round. One of them ducked it. He kicked the other one, and did a choke slam. Yes.
Never seen that before.
Then I think we had a thing with then we had FTR and Hangman meeting in the bar.
I
And
like that bit. That was just
cool.
like smooth, just
I wrote 4.
yeah.
Next to it.
I like
to
the bit where Jericho went, me and JR are drinking buddies, and then Excalibur just went, "Can I come?" And he just shouts "No!" at him. Just made me laugh.
Right, so there were 2 Marco assisted moves in this matches. The one was where they throw Marco into the Rana.
Yeah.
And that's good. It works really well. They properly launch him. He lands with momentum, weight from the shoulders, throw them down. And then there was the over the side of the ring pyramid 5-second setup.
Oh, God.
Fucking shit. It's been ripped on all over the internet, and it deserves to be.
Mm-hmm. I like that they're trying something new. Don't get me wrong, but it just didn't work.
If your move takes 5 people
to set up
and like 10 seconds,
don't do it.
Too much. Don't do it. Like I keep going back to the things I hated in this match, which is fucking hyperactive power Marco, who's built up on his own fucking hype, and the 10-second Rana set, Destroyer second.
Yeah.
Which they were trying to do what Phoenix did last week, but Phoenix did it really, and it was sure. I said it. I didn't know whether I hated it or loved it, but at least it was smooth.
It's quick. Anything in wrestling can get past as long as it's quick. As soon as it's slow, you start thinking about it and you go, "This is bollocks." And I think that's, how it is.
In fairness, the majority of this match was smooth and good. And as much as I'm getting caught up on Luchasaurus's combo he does every match,
it was solid.
It was smooth. There's just a few things that I really fucking hated in it. So I can't give it it's not D. It wasn't a shit match.
No,
it just shit. It's got to be a C for me. It just didn't. There were too many.
I think it was just trying to be an indie show-off match, and it just wasn't smooth enough to be it. I think that's the issue there, boys. But I don't know.
One more. Give me a counter perspective. Fight me.
Yeah, come on.
I really enjoyed it. It was fast-paced. There was lots of action.
Smart.
I was kept watching the whole time. I said before, I'm not that bothered. I don't get taken out. I remember thinking, well, this is a bit of a wobbly dance.
Yes, mate.
This is a bit of a wobbly dance, but I don't get taken out too much of it. As long as the payoff move after the wobbly dance is good, I don't really care quite so much.
Oh boy, it was a Canadian destroyer.
Lucha, I remember when that was the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
But nobody's done it better since, have they?
Nobody's done it better than P.D. Williams.
No, P.D. Williams was fantastic at it. Should we move on to the end of it?
No, Morg's still speaking. You've just got hyped up. Chill out. Go, Morg.
I gave it a B. And I gave it a B+. It kept me entertained.
Oh.
There was lots and lots of moves and lots of stuff going on. I thought there was good chemistry between the teams. As for Luchasaurus's move, it's pretty standard. It's a standard wrestling thing that you have a specific set of moves that you do.
Yeah, but I criticise it when Nick Jackson does his dodge 2 haymakers, punch a man, and I criticise everybody's for the fucking private party silly string. Yeah. He's got his own one of those there for me now. I don't need to see it in every tag match. Have a couple off, like the Northern Lights rolling suplexes, or have somebody break the paradigm and get round it. If you're going to have a sequence, if I'm in a fight with you and I do like a double clothesline, my mate, you're going to duck under it, spin, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm going to do? I'll let you kick me in the head with that first kick so my mate can stun you. Just anything. Break the paradigm.
Yeah. So moving on from that. So, yes, Mr. Muir, what score did you give it?
I gave it a C. Like the wrestling,
got to be a C then.
The wrestling was B, but then they just let it down through too much carny shit. As much as I love them, but it was but that's how I feel.
Fucking carnies.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can roll on.
Now we had an Hikaru Shida backstage promo.
Then we want to talk about Kenny after that match.
Crazy Angry Kenny, punch it. Yeah, good point.
Oh, yes.
Cool. We might get Crazy Kenny. Yay. People will learn that the cleaner wasn't actually cool.
No, they need to learn that the cleaner was not a cool character. As much as I like the cleaner and I like the idea of it, he wasn't cool. All these people going, "Oh, he's going to be so badass." It's like, cleaner wasn't badass, guys. He was a goofy goofy man. But yeah, so do we think he's going to go heel or?
I think this is going to lead to the tag breakup after he gets
Yeah.
paranoid about Hangman and FTR.
Nah, that's a good idea. What do you
Yeah.
think, Morg?
Yeah, I think that's where we're going. I think we're going to see the Kenny heel turn.
Yep.
I think Kenny will dethrone Mox.
Yep.
And Hangman will dethrone Kenny.
It's a good time to push Hangman because,
Yeah.
like you said, they tried it at the start and he just wasn't getting over, but now he's completely over. Give him a crowd.
Now people are angry that he's not the cool man from Japan, whereas before they didn't know he was the cool man,
From Japan.
Oh, wrestling fans.
So fickle.
And from one Japan comment, segueing into another, Shida promo.
I liked it. I thought it was solid. Calling out people, see what they bring in from that. Because, they haven't got a women's league at the moment, thanks to all the injuries or people being banned from sites and stuff like that. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see some new talent come in through it. What do you think?
We're going to see Tully's daughter.
Ooh, that's bold.
Oh.
Don't think she's going Dub Z.
Is she controversy free yet?
No.
No.
she comes with a lot of baggage. Though.
Yeah, she comes with a lot of baggage and not the kind of baggage I can see AEW accepting.
But if her father keeps her on the straight and narrow,
there is the other side to the story where she said, the night after she won the TNA championship was the night that all these other women started saying all this stuff on her best night. And this was the Raptor that I believe told me this. So there is that side of the story. You do get a lot of jealousy in the wrestling.
I believe the racist thing was before that, but
Yeah.
the bullying thing was after. She is correct.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you bring her in for a one-off match and see how she gets on with the locker room. That's the advantage of having open challenges and testing your indie talent.
It is a great way to look at them as well and see how they get over with your fan base.
Give them a couple of dark matches. Give them a shot at the open. It's why open challenges are great. I'd also like to say I'm really happy they just let Shida speak. They don't subtitle her or anything. Her English is really good, but people have a habit of subtitling people who have accents, and
it was nice just to see her being left to talk on her own and let her just do her bit. It was great.
Following on,
we're all happy with Shida.
Yeah. Following on from that, we had a Mox video promo. What did you think? It was fine. It was a Mox promo.
Grumpy. He's grumpy.
Yeah.
I thought he was in a Jimmy Havoc shirt.
So did I. So did the Raptor.
Thankfully, he was not.
Thankfully, they explained that later. I was like, no, Mox.
It's a bold move.
Fine, what I expect.
Yeah,
it was a Mox
solid.
Promo.
Solid Mox promo for, I'm such an edgy bad boy.
Yeah, solid C Mox.
Yeah. So following on from that, we had the Nightmare Sisters versus Kenzie Page and MJ Jenkins. The Nightmare Sisters win by pinfall. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Squash. I love squash.
Other than Ali's eye-rolling acting ending, which was actually, she's got very good body language. It was a waste of my time, and that was a waste of our women's representation in this episode. D.
Can we just, complete D. And what you give 10 minutes for the women this show, and it's nothing to write home about at all as well. So it's kind of a bit
normally we get excited talking about the women's match stuff, and I'll be like, Morg, I'll have a rant, you'll have a have a rant, and I'm like, Morg, you're our expert, blah 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 blah. We can't even have that.
No,
D.
We deserve better, and the ladies of AEW deserve better.
I was hyped up from the Hikaru Shida. Oh, this is interesting. We're going to get someone in. I'm more hyped up later on when they mention next week. So following on from that, we have a Nyla Rose in-ring interview with Dasha, and she announces her manager. Excuse me, it's Vicky Guerrero.
Oh God. I rolled my eyes as you said that. I know a lot of people love Vicky Guerrero, and I know her gimmick is to be annoying. Her voice makes my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Everything about her makes my shit itch.
She's made for healing. She was just made for healing.
I don't know if I can judge it properly yet. I hate the cougar gimmick.
I'm down with the cougar gimmick and that sort of thing. If she was with a shit-eating male, heel, that's going to go for the championship.
Like
I feel she works
when
with
she
Edge.
was with Edge and
Yeah,
with Dolph Ziggler.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Why is she with a monster heel? It doesn't really make sense to me. That's my feelings on it. I feel like she's only really good with the shit eating,
I hate it, but I can't judge it yet.
No.
I hate her, and I don't know if that's just her character or the actuality of it. I'm gonna have to wait and judge. I don't think I can fairly judge this for my
No.
sheer fucking raging hatred for everything that her character at least
Poor
represents.
Vicky.
I've heard her interviewed. Vicky herself seems like a lovely
woman.
person.
Yeah.
She's doing very well then.
Her character is supposed to make your. To be fair, she's doing really well.
She's doing great, but like I said, I don't know why she's with a monster heel. It just doesn't make sense to me in storytelling. But
No,
we'll see where it goes.
She's got to make me like hating her as opposed to just hate her, basically.
That is very fair as well.
Are you pro it or anti it, Morg? You are the women's expert.
I don't think Nyla can talk.
Yeah,
it's another person who can talk. And as much as I love Vicky, I don't know if I'm completely with Muir. Somebody she'd have been better off with someone like Cage.
Yeah,
maybe not Cage. Maybe because Cage doesn't necessarily.
I think she would have been great with Ricky Starks.
Ricky
Starks.
Like she tries to get over with him and stuff like that, and just expanding that storyline, I think would have worked really well. But
or if you turn Joey Janela heel,
I
think he could play it. Yeah, she needs a toy boy.
Yeah,
I don't think any of the women in AEW need a manager. The only one, maybe, if you brought a bunch of the Joshis in who don't speak very good English at all, and you gave them, and you have to be very careful with how you do that. And I'd be more tempted to put them in a stable with Shida and just let Shida do the talking, to be honest, because she talks, because she does speak pretty good English, and I'm always wary about putting,
overdoing them. I had the best idea for Nyla's manager. I say I did. I stole it offline.
That's how we get all our ideas these days.
Yeah. Imagine if Nyla's manager had been a bad and she, what do you think? Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Just make zombie noises and screamed blood.
Or if, she'd had a male manager. I don't know which type of legend you bring in for someone like Nyla.
I don't think she needs one. She doesn't heel.
She doesn't need a well, it's a very old school thing. The Monster Eels all had a manager.
Yeah, but she doesn't need it. She's not
mostly because they couldn't fucking talk.
Everybody else has fucking got one.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Cody hasn't. Cody has a head coach.
Oh, that's completely different.
Internal streaming intensifies.
So, moving on, we had to the AEW Championship match, which was Cage with Taz versus Mox. Mox wins after Taz throws in the towel. What did you think of the match? What score did you give the match? We'll talk about what happened afterwards.
Right. Friday.
Give me a second. I'm going to pace myself. Go, Nick.
On Friday, we saw a friend of ours that doesn't really watch wrestling that much, but we showed him a picture of Cage, just the man Cage, and went, "Do you feel this is the man that needs his manager to throw in the towel for him?" And he just went, "No, that man is a monster. Why would he need that?" And that's just my feeling on it.
I'm going to try to do this unbiased and talk about the match before I talk about what I think of the ending.
Yes.
Mostly it was solid. Obviously, they had to go outside the ring because apparently Moxley doesn't like taking or doing big moves, so you don't do them on the floor. You just hit each other. We saw a torture rack. That was cool. I've not seen a proper torture rack in ages, and I believe Cage can put you in a torture rack. And
I like the bit where Cage was curling Mox. I like that. Yeah. That was good.
They're both very quiet wrestlers, and I think the lack of crowd hurt the match because of that. Because when you've got noisy wrestlers and wrestlers who banter, you don't feel the dead air as much. Mm-hmm. The mid-rope superplex was again fucking baller. I have a couple of comments which just say, "Oh boy, a dramatic armbar." My last three comments are, my last three notes, Taz threw in the towel. What? No.
I like that
I
you didn't
I
get
booked this
pinned.
better in our messages.
I like that the paradigm shift didn't work on him because his neck's too big.
Too big.
I did like that. That was good.
I'm going to rant about this later. I think, realistically, from a wrestling point, because I like limb work, I like things being taken into account. Would have been nice if if the torn bicep had been mentioned, I don't know, anywhere in this feud more than 20 minutes before the actual fight.
Yeah.
I think I have to say the match was solid. I don't like Mox's style, and excluding the ending and my personal feelings about it, it's probably a C of an all right match. With the ending, I hate it and I want it to die, and I gave it a D.
Yeah, I would agree with those ratings. And on the ending, I'm really confused why you need to dub book it, where you have two different things happening at the end. Why not just have the derby?
It's just a vector to give Darby the FTW.
I know he is, but we can get into that later.
Morg?
So I gave it a B+.
Oh,
Okay.
This was a really solid match. They both looked really strong. The Taz throwing in the towel. This is now, I'm actually paraphrasing from the Raptor here. She really liked it. I really liked it. Stopped Cage looking weak. Cage didn't fucking give in the towel.
It didn't.
Taz threw in the towel because he's an idiot, which stops Cage, and then Cage proved by not wanting to give in afterwards and wanting to keep fighting that there was nothing wrong with him and Taz shouldn't have thrown in the towel. This will hopefully lead to Taz fucking off and Cage turning face.
If he'd broken the submission at the moment, like if the towel had got, if he'd kicked out at 3.1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he'd have managed to pick him up or roll his feet out just at the moment, or just
the
after
towel went in, yeah.
He didn't. He was just still in the hold until Moxley. I'm against you on this one.
I'm sorry, Morg.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
of course. I think it was the way. It was a better way to protect Cage. He shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. More on that later.
I don't think Darby interfering would have just been the better way.
See, that was now that's what I originally thought, and the Raptor thought that was a terrible idea compared to what they did. I'm paraphrasing her thoughts here. Because she didn't think that would have made as much sense, and it wouldn't have helped with what goes on at the end, which storyline wise doesn't make sense. So I'll go on to that. Cage then beats down on Mox, lights go out, Darby Allin comes in for the save with the skateboard off the top ramp, which was it's
a really well painted skateboard.
It is cool.
Ends with Mox and Darby doing the fist bump, which I like because they're the two outsiders and they're the only two that have always been there backing each other up. That's good callback to previous storytelling, which I really did appreciate. It's the fact that
they've always been sort of together and backing each other up.
Yeah,
that is good.
They make sense as well because they're the two outsiders. Neither of them have any friends, inverted commas, in the backstage, but they've watched each other's backs and it's always been due to reasons. It's always been due to having a problem with the one that the other one's facing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought they both looked solid as hell. I thought the towel throwing in was a bit. I agree with you. It would have been much better had Cage just broken the hold as the towel hit,
and then had a bit of animosity between the two of them.
Like, who can stop the path of Cage?
One more thing. The first person that he's fought that isn't a jobber stop the path of Cage.
He runs out, interferes in some way. You do it in a friend-esque way for Moxley or whatever. It doesn't matter. Moxley is disqualified. He retains the title. He's still because you don't lose on that. The loss doesn't really count because he didn't lose it. Cage is got his win. Doesn't need to give over the FTW title. Yep. My idea was better.
The other problem with that is you automatically set that Cage has now got to have a rematch with Mox instead of moving on to face Darby, who he's supposed to have been feuding with from the beginning.
And don't write that. You can always have a rematch and Mox can beat him the hard way then, and then Mox will look better for beating somebody he was technically losing to last time.
You build your champion that way.
Sorry. I have anger about this.
We'll discuss it later. We're going to get into that.
I'm willing to concede it could be a high C, low B. I am willing to put aside my personal hatreds and allow you that.
Yeah,
I can concede it to a C, and I'm happy for it to have been an okay match.
I think we can all agree it could have been done better. I think that's the thing that we're all on here.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
That was Fight for the Fallen. Overall, a
Solid.
C.
High C, possibly
High
a
C.
low B. The good moments are good and are longer than the short moments that annoy me.
I'm really excited for some of the matches next week.
And
yes.
they revealed next week's matches, and
I'm more excited for next week.
I popped like fuck.
Hangman versus 5. Oof, that's going to be good.
Which one was that one?
Hangman versus
Hangman
5?
versus 5. That's going to be
Yeah, it's going to
awesome.
be solid. I'm building up to the other one.
Yep. Go on.
And Evilise versus Del Monte.
More women.
It's going to be. If Evilise, I think we're all fans of Evie.
Yeah, she was one of my favourites in Lucha Underground. She's been one of my favourite
Yes,
wrestlers.
mate.
And if she signs to AEW, I'll be able to get an Evilise t-shirt that doesn't look shit. Because I really don't like the ones on the t-shirt shop.
She doesn't shatter this time, and the tales of her being a bit of a diva are overrated. She's grown. It has been many
Hopefully
years.
she's grown as a person, and hopefully her bones have got a bit stronger, because she's fantastic when she's in the ring.
The scorpion kick thing is one of my favourite
beautiful
moves of wrestling.
So that was our review of the week. As you can see, a little bit more divisive than we've normally been.
Yeah.
So now would be the section where we would ask for if there are any questions. This week, nobody has sent in any questions. If you do want to send in questions, ideas for things for us to book, stuff for us to rant about, stuff for us to get argumentative about, stuff for us to all agree on, we are wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, or WrestleOP1 on Twitter. You might even get a response from one of us. So
I will respond on Twitter. I check it daily. Click hearts on wrestlers' posts.
So it's that time. It's that time. So we've been really positive. We booked on the fly because we haven't wanted to be negative, but it's back.
But it's time, Morg. It's time.
I have a genuine anger.
I do too. I'm joining in.
So I'm going to hand over to Mr. Strange and Mr. Muir because it is time for their rant of the week.
Hi there. I'm your new slab-chested juggernaut character to be introduced to your league. You may know me from other promotions, from such examples as 98 Kane, Abyss.
You're a big boy.
Oh, I am a big boy. What I need is an unstoppable reign of destruction to make me look like a monster.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll be good. Won't it? Well, you will all enjoy that. Cool. Welcome to the show. Here's your story. You'll be mainlined straight into a champion fight. Don't worry about it. Straight in. You're going to look like a fucking badass.
You're going to come out and look great, mate.
The match will even be good. And then you're going to lose, obviously. And then you're going to get smashed down to a feud more in the mid-cardy area.
Oh, you're going to get a few matches on Dart where you get at least 5 seconds to do your finisher.
Do I get to fight Marco Stunt?
You'll probably get to fight Marco Stunt afterwards because he'd have laughed at you.
This has happened five
God.
times. I have to throw in the Booker T there. We've seen it, so I'm going to work up in fucking power rankings. We'll start at the bottom, 10. We got to see Preston Vance.
To be fair with Preston Vance, he does have an injured arm, so we've got to give him that one. But, yeah.
I'm building up. I'm going to go through these fucking ranks.
Oh,
10. We all went, fuck. And they went, he's got a match with Moxley. And we're like, whoa, this could be fucking baller. Over, breaks his arm. Back down you go. Whoosh. Off you go. But
go fight Marco Stunt.
10 is the least experienced of our examples here. He is the most growing. Wardlow, MJF, the biggest enemy to Cody, hires himself an enforcer solely for fighting Cody to beat the fuck out of him. We get the heel build, so obviously we know Cody's got to win, and it took him a while, and Wardlow looked badass. What's Wardlow doing now? Sure, we're getting great matches with him, but he's Just back down you go. Back down. Woo! You can have a match with Marco Stunt on Dark. Look how far you can throw him. Lance fucking
Lance Archer. The man that devastated NJPW.
Man who smashes people in and around the ring at all time. A 6'6" Texan death machine who has the agility of a bunch of things straight in. He's going for the TNT title. He's got an old legend who specializes in fucking dodgy moves. Here's your championship match against Cody. Oh, you've lost. Now you can feud with Sonny and Joey, who have been off the show for most of the fucking time. Whee! Don't forget your Marco Stunt match.
Do you get a little ticket when you lose against the champion? Here's your rematch with Marco Stunt.
I would argue
Brody Lee
looked the strongest out of all of these. His match with Mox made him look like a fucking beast. In fact, in the cage match, they were like, nobody's kicked out of the paradigm shift. I was like, Brody took two. One through the floor. Where did he go afterwards, Nick? Where did he go afterwards, Morg? What happened after he lost his match? He's a plot vector for Colt Cabana, which is fine. We love Colt Cabana. Colt's
not
great.
Top of the card. Oh,
Cage. Possibly the henchest human being I've ever seen. The man can do moonsaults. The man can do fucking cruiserweights. He lifted a fucking ladder with a man on. They buried him in
literally
stuff. Busted out of fucking shit. He looked like a monster. I was on board at last. This is the Crushinator. And then they put him in a plot with Mox for the championship. And I was like, no, fucking God, no. And what happened? What the fuck happened? He goes in, just fucking loses. Title taken off him. Don't worry, none of this actually mattered. This was just a fucking plot vector so you could give the fucking FTW belt, which nobody who isn't from the fucking
90s
gives a shit about, to Darby Allin because he's edge fucking tastic. Great. Can we not just have one juggernaut monster? You know what you do? You don't book them in a championship fight. Just have them wandering around, smashing people. Do you remember when people had to work up the ranks to get their title matches? Do you remember that? When MJF was like, I have not lost. I have fought my way up, and now is my title match. Scorpio Sky, I am the top of the card. Here's my title match. No, big man walk in, get big title shot, lose, smash down. Give me a 98 Kane. Give me an Undertaker. Give me a fucking APA. I don't give a shit. Just give me
a storyline where it doesn't end with him losing against the champion 2 weeks after he's fucking shown up. It's fucking ridiculous.
The mid-card story that was obviously originally written for him.
Yeah, just give him the mid-card.
Fighting a champion doesn't make you look hard.
No.
It can make you look cool. You can have a great match, but it doesn't actually win you anything. When it's over, you are no longer that. Don't give them title shots. It's fine. Most people's favorite wrestlers are defined by how they look, how they act, and their moveset. Being in a title match no longer elevates you. This is what went wrong with WWE. We all got sick of the only fucking wrestlers mattering being the 5 people who give a fuck about the championship and then lose to John Cena / Roman Reigns / Brock Lesnar, whichever fucking home mind-based bullshit person they've stuck at the top of their card. I'm sick of it. Just give me a big dude and let him be a big dude. There's so fucking many of them. I can't wait for FTR to have their tag match against Kenny and Hangman, lose, so they can get on with their feud with the Bucks. Because that's the only reason there. So obviously if they have a title match, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's the belts are coming before the storylines, and it makes no sense. It's like the booking seems to be a bit off, especially for the big dude. And it's like, I know they're trying not to be the land of the giants. They're trying not to be WWE, but stop booking your big lads in. They don't need it. Just let them be characters. Everyone remembers Rikishi. He didn't get belts. He didn't get top championship fights. He's just my normal go-to wrestler for... Everybody remembers Rikishi. You don't need to fucking have them have the belt. Just leave them to it. Give them good storylines.
If you want to later, just let them fight up the ranks. I can't wait for Will Hobbs' match against Cody. It's going to be great when Cody crossroads him 3 times to wins and he can just go back down to fighting fucking whoever. I'm just sick of it.
It's
I like
tiring.
cruiserweights. I like flippy shit. I like people under 6 foot who can spin through the air like they're breaking physics. I like cool tag team moves. I like swinging net breakers. I like spinning DDTs.
But deep in our heart, we all love the big dude.
Everybody loves the Juggernaut character. That big dude who walks off. I remember, is it Matt Murdock, the Blueprint, who was in TNA, who was just proportioned like a regular man, but like up to 6'8". Just stomped around throwing people about, breaking them. It was cool. He didn't really start to get title shots until TNA started.
98K.
98K, the ultimate of them.
Yeah. It's just
The Undertaker was the original. Don't do flips or anything. Do your walkie stuff. Look hard. And how many big important title shots has the Undertaker gone for?
he's had a few in the
Actually,
day.
he's had quite a lot, and he did get pushed straight into one with Hogan with a really screwy finish.
Yeah, but
Boris
after
Hogan.
a few years, compared to every other big dude, he has mostly just had some titles round and about and defended his streak. They invented a thing for him.
The problem is, and I don't think it's big dudes. This is the
Okay.
thing. I don't think it's big dudes. This is the AEW problem at the minute. Stop fucking debuting big names and putting them straight in a title card when they're not ready for it. If you think they're a mid-carder, they're a fucking mid-carder.
Mid-carder.
So put them in the fucking mid-card and let them get over with the fans and move their way up.
Like Brody
the old
Lee.
days, like
Yeah.
The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and
Yeah.
Bret
All
Hart
started
and
as
Shawn Michaels. These are all names who went on to become fucking legends, and they all feuded together for the Intercontinental Championship, moved their way up, and feuded together for the World Championship.
Exactly.
Because you move up the card. Stop putting them straight at the top of the card. Cage should never have won that fucking match.
No.
He should have been buried, and Darby Allin should have won it.
And then he should
And
have
Cage
broken out
smashed
afterwards.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
we could have
Mox-
that feud off the bat.
And Mox and Darby Allin could have had their second match. They could have fist bumped at the end, and you'd have still had this storyline where you've got these two people that will watch each other's backs and they've got the mutual respect because they put each other through hell in this match. And Cage could have gone off to do something else with someone else. Cage or Wardlow needs to turn face because I want Cage versus Wardlow.
Is it because they've both got super smiley faces as well, so they both fit the face?
It's not that. I want Cage versus Wardlow. I think they will have a fucking.
Yeah,
they
It
both
would be a
agile
great
as fuck.
match. Yeah.
They're Lucha Underground big guys.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
not.
They're not.
Wardlow is my
punch and
replacement for Mil Muertes. Let's be honest here. That's
And
what I feel of him. He's
Cage
got that.
is
Yeah,
the
Cage is
replacement for
Cage.
Cage.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so despondent, isn't it? It's just like, why are you doing this? It's just
We all-
short-term booking. I'm sorry.
We all love like a proper unstoppable juggernaut strong guy, but you can't title book them. You just can't because they ruin everything.
You
Look
can't
at
title book them unless you're going all the way, and it's too early to go all the way on any of them.
Exactly. Let people warm up to them. Just
And giving them a bunch of squash matches on Dark does. Oh, we're all back on the same page now, aren't we? After the end of Dynamite.
It doesn't do anything. I'm sorry, I don't care. I see everybody squashing people on Dark. Giving a big man the squash against Pineapple Pete doesn't make a difference. He gets squashed by fucking everyone. Give them names to squash if you want to build them.
To be fair, Lance should have been in the feud with Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss first.
Yep.
Building up. I don't know. I would have had MJF versus Cody for the belt, and I'd have got rid of that fucking cross that MJF's got on his back because that fucking undefeated streak is going to become a fucking.
It's going to be albatross around his neck.
It's going to be. Thank you. That's the analogy I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's going to become an albatross.
Yeah.
Around his neck at some point. You'll start getting fucking bored of it.
Yep.
And then the only thing he can do is lose that undefeated streak.
But I think this goes into our discussion, really.
The wrong person. So
I'd have had.
let's move on. Let's move on from the rant. Let's move on to our discussion. Mr. Muir, you came up with a discussion for us this week.
Right. Do we feel that AEW are booking too short term, or do you think they've got the long term going ahead? Because I'm really starting to feel like I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Me and Strange always go, it's Gado booking. It's Gado booking. The guy that books NJPW, where he books things like years in advance if he can. But I'm really starting to feel like they're just short-term booking 3-week pushes off like Vince McMahon at the moment. But I'd love to hear your boys' opinion on that.
I'm somewhere going to be contrarian, so I'm going to let Morg lead.
So I think one of the reasons we're getting a lot of... I think they opened with long-term booking. Excuse me. I think they opened with a lot of long-term booking, and then the coronavirus happened.
Yeah,
And
this
it
is...
has... I don't think we can judge anything on... So we are on episode 18 of this podcast, and I believe me and Strange worked out last week that our first episode of this podcast was the first week with no crowd, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that's 18 weeks. We haven't missed a week. That's 18 weeks we've been doing this. That's 18 weeks we haven't had a crowd. And you can't book, and it's difficult to book because you can't. The only thing they have got to go on is merch sales. That's it. That's all you can tell on who's... This is why Orange Cassidy's in the main event with Jericho. Now, if the crowds were there, I'm pretty sure Orange Cassidy would be in the main event with Jericho.
Yes, I feel like he is that over.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can still plan a bit ahead, guys. It doesn't mean that you need to bring in, like we were saying, the big dude straight into the championship match. That's short-sighted, short-term booking at its worst.
Right.
So,
Okay, so we've changed a few opinions, and some of them are the results of long booking, some of them are the results of improv.
Yep.
So we hated Hangman and Britt
Oh,
and
God,
the Dark
yes.
Order and the best friends at the start.
we didn't hate the best friends, but yeah.
Hangman has had good long-term booking. We've seen the development of his
Beautiful.
character and the development with Kenny and the story with the books. That's good. It's good. The best friends haven't really grown in story. We just like them.
Yeah.
Tag
Tag
League
team is the best division for long-term booking currently, by far.
The Dark Order and Brit we hated, but I think they've been won over more by improvised story changes, if I'm honest. The things have changed and they've been more on the fly, turned into characters we like. So there's a laziness to it, but it's worked. On the counter side, we really liked Private Party when we first saw them with all their flamboyant...
Oh, God, yes.
And now we're bored of them. And has their story really moved on? Have they actually grown? Or is long-term booking only for certain characters? Like, coming and joining the Dark Order seems to be something which has been shortly improvised, but seems to be going well. I'm enjoying his things with SCU and its tie back.
Order.
So I think it's a mix. I think we've got some... They're trying to... it's what I was told when... running LARP, live action roleplay, for people who aren't listening. You do a 1-event plot, a 3-event plot, and a 1-year plot. So people who are there for just that moment can see what's going on, have a good time. People who are sort of in and out can get the midterm bit and understand what they like. And people who are there for the long game can see the growth and how all these things come together. The problem is just some of the short-term plots we've got, if they don't grow...
bollocks.
Like Derby Mox is a long-term plot, possibly a mid-term plot, but like the FTW belt thing just feels fucking thrown out there for the sake of getting some stuff. And I don't know, like, do they have different departments writing different? Because they don't. Well, everybody writes their own.
Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan is writing most things because we gave him props for the weekend when he had to rewrite everything. The Dark Order fell on its ass at first, and they are fighting, and they've managed to get it back together mainly by relying on the comedy of
the charisma of the characters,
the charisma of the wrestlers, and the comedy chops of the guys with what they're doing on BTE, and then the more serious side. I think one of the things that AEW is suffering from at the minute is their... So they keep on... I've lost my train a little bit where I was thinking of... then they're booking things too quickly. So they're booking these guys in and they're going, right, we've got to push this guy.
Yeah.
And they're doing that whole Impact booking thing. It's that thing I was scared about, and I've said it before.
The WWE man comes in,
and I know Strange is now seething because we've said a WWE, but but somebody from somewhere else, a big name from somewhere else, who was a mid-carder somewhere else, has come in and they've pushed them because they were a name and because they've got a beef with the opposition.
Yeah.
And they've pushed them up the card. Now you bring in someone like Adam Cole, and I expect Adam Cole to be pushed up with the Young Bucks and the rest of the Elite because he's a member of the fucking Elite, and you're completely ignoring that storyline. There isn't a mid to lower card member of the Elite. Cody is the nearest thing they have.
Elite.
Yeah, Cody is the nearest to a mid card, and that's because he's got the mid card title.
Yeah. I don't think you can use Corona as a defense for it because it's.
I think you could 18 weeks ago. I think you could 16 weeks ago. I think you could 12 weeks ago. Once you've hit like 2 months,
Months of it,
it's time to maybe start writing your stories like this is going to continue, and then deal with it when it doesn't. Basically, you can't keep booking on the fly when the fly, it might be here for ages. It's been. What do you say? 18 weeks?
This is our 18th podcast.
So Jesus.
So why? The first 4 weeks, 100% with you, boys. I'm 100% with you. Do what you can. But why not just go, well, this guy's going to wrestle with Pac, but Pac may not be here for these 2 months. So we'll just keep that on the back low. We don't need to actually do that right now. Let's just, carry on with the other storylines. It's not like we need to see every wrestler every week. We can get a big pop for them when they come back with the long-term booking.
To show how organic things can go over with people you haven't over-pushed in situation, look how much people love the Lucha Bros and Butcher and the Blade together. And that's 100%. Literally filler. And they have become like fucking fan favorites. This little team of like Miami Butcher, gangster, thugs, and
the
Mexican housing estate kids.
Yeah.
I think we have to give them the fucking benefit of the doubt, mostly due to the Rona, but we should now really start expecting things to look up and go somewhere else. Like, how long are we meant to be on hold for, basically?
I think one of the other problems is, as well, just thinking about it, is we have just had effectively 3 pay-per-views in a row.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now, Fight for the Fallen did happen just after Fighter Fest, but Fight for the Fallen... It was a bit of a different thing. It was a special show and it's their charity show, and I hope they do it every year.
I also
hope they move it slightly away, because
that's
been the other problem. Yeah, that's been the other problem, because all we've done is we've just booked to these, and it's 3 pay-per-views. Now we've got the Joey Janela Sonny Kiss story that was interesting, but that's now become the Lance Archer story.
Yeah.
Whereas I liked seeing the coming together of those 2 faces into a team. And the 2 Jersey boys.
You assume they'd be rivaling with a tag team, not one large
lad. Yeah.
Well, you've got to get Lance Archer back over again, haven't you?
Because he's lost in
because he lost to Cody.
So this is what I mean. This is the short-term booking coming to bite them in the ass with their long-term booking. Why did Lance need to come in versus Cody? It was bollocks. Cody didn't need putting over. Cody was strong enough.
Lance needed to come in. I don't know who. This is the other thing that they
Lance should have won, and then Cody could have had 10 weeks fighting back to take it back from Lance, and then we'd rate the title a lot more. Cody would have it. Lance has looked like a monster and has gone back off to do other things.
Yeah.
And Cody is a fucking hero for getting it.
Cage should not have come in as a heel.
I don't think Cage should have come in with the title shot
no, but he also shouldn't come in as a heel.
Yeah.
One thing that AEW are desperately missing, and I know I've said it repeatedly.
Your EC3 coming in as a face.
They need a monster baby face. They do not have a monster baby face. They don't have a 98 Kane.
No.
Because if I'm in the right thoughts here, 98 Kane is 98 Kane's debut, or is it just after when
he came in? He came in 97, but yes, he was a babyface. He was coming in as the burnt child that was coming for revenge.
Has he started to turn babyface? Is it during the DX time, or is that a little bit later?
He turned face with Road Dogg for the tag team titles, wasn't it? If I remember, I don't know.
The thing is, I spell my name.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Morg.
No, X-Pac,
I would love to have a monster babyface, but before we get anywhere near a monster babyface, I'd like a heel. Just one effective heel.
Yeah. Apart from
Just a
maybe
single.
MJF.
I was going to say,
Okay.
you've got your effective heel. It's MJF.
It's true, but he's nowhere near the top of the card at the moment.
Yeah, but
He's not.
He's just a shit-eating heel, though, isn't he? He only wins by hook or crook. You know.
Well, it's
And-
ridiculous that he's not #1 contender for Mox's championship.
I mean, he was, but yeah,
But then he wasn't.
Cage got the magic get jobbed badge that let him
Oh,
run into a fight to get
the prestigious get job badge.
Yeah. You remember when this started, we said it must be great to go W, because if you're a heel, you go to a match with Cody and he makes you look like $1 million. And if you're a face, you go to a match with Jericho and he makes you look like $1 million. And now,
Now Mox just makes you eat shit.
I'm just so bored of watching the same thing happen again. So yeah, no, I would love a monster heel, and I'm with you. And I honestly think Wardlow would be the best one for it when he breaks. As much as I also think Cage is friend-shaped, I think him and Team Taz throwing Ricky Starks and some other people as the counter for your coming 4 horsemen. 4. But we need more heels. Let's start saying 4 mid-podcast.
4.
I've also would like to throw another one into your rant.
Yep.
Oh,
Jake Hager.
Oh,
Much as you
God.
like
I
him,
forgot about
Jake
Jake Hager.
the ultimate fighting, never been defeated in
Just got his ass
Bellator.
eaten.
And
Yeah,
I
he
know
did just
again,
eat shit. Yeah.
I know again, strange that you don't like but if you're using this guy is legitimately
Super
tough,
fighter.
Yeah,
No, you're 100% right
he's
there.
a prize fighter. Refer to him as a prize fighter like they did with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I mean, he did lose to a proper Dusty finish, which is an actual complete one, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, Jake Hager as well. There's another one.
Why wouldn't it end?
Don't
Dicks.
put them in those fucking matches.
Yeah.
Jake Hager is the inner circle enforcer until the point that Jericho overuses him and he does
And then
the
he
Dave
breaks free.
Bautista.
Yeah.
And then he goes in and he takes out the heel champion.
Yep.
As a baby face.
Hager is the weakest of all of the ones we were talking about, in my opinion. Not in like stats, not in kayfabe stats, but in how much I enjoy watching him in actual personality.
Yes.
But
Back to 10 first.
He's still, he's still
it fits in. Just
I think
So,
Hager could do an old Kurt Angle because we know he's got.
He could do the goofy. Yeah,
we know
he
he's
could.
got a goofy sense of humor, and he could do that old goofy sense of humor that snaps into, "Oh, I think you seem to have forgotten who the fuck I am."
Yeah,
and I always like that from a strong baby face, one who can be goofy. Even John Cena used to do it really well. Kurt Angle was my favorite, which is he actually did it in a promo with John Cena, and it's one of my all-time favorite promos.
I think what we've come to here, what we've established is not necessarily that the long booking is weak. The long booking is fine. The short booking is shit.
It's terrible. Okay. So we're on the level of Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon 3-week booking is the short-term booking, but the long-term booking seems to be nice and stable.
It's getting scarily Vince Russo.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're not wrong.
Russo was dimes. He might have made shit and he might have destroyed
He is dimes.
But he made fucking dollar bills, y'all. Look at the ratings back then.
Yeah.
He made dollar bills when he had Vince McMahon as a filter above him to turn
two negatives make a positive.
Positive.
Well, no, old Vince used to actually be able to do. So when
no,
I say
old Vince is dimes.
Young Vince, old Vince, young Vince could actually do it, and he could take the stuff that Russo was writing, and it went through the Vince filter, and it turned into gold.
Yeah,
because we proved this because when Russo went to WCW, he didn't have that filter.
No.
And then he was wandering around the rings with models holding a belt.
Oh, God.
What a
Make it stop.
Good long term, bad, currently bad short term. I can't say we've had long term bad short term booking. But recently it's been a bit toss.
Yeah.
Keep Ricky Starks away from any championships.
Please.
So,
yes.
There you have it. That's our show for the week. There's been lots of ranting, lots of complaining, and lots of discussion. We would like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the for hosting the website. If you want to find us, we are Wrestle Opinionated on Anchor.fm, Wrestle Opinionated on Spotify and on YouTube. Mr. Muir.
As always, please send us stuff. We love to discuss other things, not just the stupid things I think of, or Strange thinks of, or Morg thinks of. So thank you very much for listening. And if you'd like to contact or leave us a message, please send an email to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
I was going to do the Philip DeFranco challenge that I've made notes, but shouting about big guys has brought my headache back pretty fucking bad. I've exaggerated myself in pain. Cheers for listening, everybody out there. We do appreciate it. If you could click the little like button, whatever the Spotify little like button is, the Anchor like button, share, subscribe. Every little view means a lot to us, as we do actually really like doing this. And yeah, share, subscribe, like, speak on Twitter. I'll respond to you. Maybe we're going to have some lols and shit post about things. Please, help spread our message. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left now is goodbye and good night.